What's up, troopers? My name is Neon. There is going to be no excuse when it comes to the brand new Battlefield. So today we're going to be talking about the brand new Battlefield, and we're going to be talking about exactly how it's been built up. So before we get into the video, troopers, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do, and make sure to leave a like. Would really appreciate it. I don't really want to jinx it, but I would really like to say that hopefully we're going to be very lucky when it comes to the new Battlefield. I would say especially over the last two Battlefields, we haven't been lucky whatsoever. Just having games that are completely buggy and waiting almost 2 years for a launchable game. It's really hard for someone like myself to be playing the game for so long and just fall in love with it. It's very difficult. But obviously for a lot of new players coming into the game, they just love it because they didn't experience any of these bugs from the get-go. And if they did, most of them just left. And the biggest concern was as well, we all saw how 2042 is the next Battlefield gonna be good? The difficult thing is for a lot of us is, do we actually have a lot of faith in the new Battlefield? We obviously know that DICE can make a Battlefield, but the problem is they really struggle when it comes to just keeping the game alive and fixing bugs in time. And for creating a big game like this, just doing it with one studio is got to be a difficult thing. And you would think to yourself, well, make it bigger. And that might sound really simple to just make a studio bigger, increase it, but I don't think that really works anymore. It seems like the only best way they really can do a lot of this is just create more studios. And I did hear that Battlefield was going to have a new studio working on a new game. And that AAA studio is called Ridgeline Games. They're actually been created through DICE. They just extended their studio, so now they also have them as well. And we also are lucky enough to have a returning studio coming back to Battlefield, and that is EurocorpFx. What was actually originally DICE LA. The transition from DICE LA to EurocorpFx, well, basically they were actually going to be their own company and create their own game, but it doesn't even look like that's happening anymore. They're just going to stay with DICE to fix the next Battlefield, and that's obviously a really good thing. You know, you got to think about it. EurocorpFx has been a really lifesaver when it comes to a lot of games. They also helped out the comeback for Battlefield 5. They helped out a lot when it comes to Battlefield 1. They've been a really good studio. So we are very lucky enough to have EurocorpFx for the new Battlefield, and that is 3 studios going to be working on a new game. And I really can't complain about that. That's probably the most studios that actually worked on a Battlefield title, but it doesn't even look like they're going to be just working on the beginning and just leaving. It seems like these 3 studios are going to be all together. And we only just found out a couple of days ago that we have another studio coming to the game as well, and that is Criteria. Criteria is probably one of the most exciting things for me because a lot of people don't know that much about Criteria, but Criteria is actually the original creators of Firestorm. If you guys didn't know what Firestorm was, in Battlefield 5 they actually had another path, and that was the BR. It was the first time they entered the Battle Royale scene, and honestly it was really good. It had a couple of bugs at the start, but it was overall fantastic. Criteria done a really good job. Unfortunately, Firestorm didn't go out the way it should have. It really should have been a massive game, but unfortunately it had no support and content, because basically what was really going on was Criteria was creating Firestorm, but that was it. They wasn't there to keep the live servers going. They wasn't keeping the game to fix it, nothing like that. All Criteria was supposed to do was just create Firestorm, and that was it, and handed the rest over to DICE for them lot to finish it and keep it alive. Unfortunately, their work and their hard effort literally came to nothing because Firestorm got no support whatsoever, and it just died. It really did. It just died, and it was such a shame. But actually hearing about Criteria come to the Battlefield scene, it really excites me because I feel like that studio deserves a lot more love. And that's the thing, troopers. Are we lucky enough to actually have 4 AAA studios working on the new Battlefield? This is the most I've ever seen when it comes to studio creating one game, and I think we're going to be very lucky. I really hope we are. You know, you got to hear about it with Call of Duty. Call of Duty releases every single year, and they have multiple studios, but then multiple studios are working on specific games. We're actually here with the new Battlefield, and they have 4 studios just working on one game. You know, you got to think about it. You could have like DICE just working on the launch of the game, making sure it's all polished, just like how they did when it came to Battlefield 1. You could have Criteria working on a different type of experience for the game. You could have EurocorpFx working on future content, live service. You can have Real Life Games also working on extra content. Just so much more support for the new Battlefield, and I really hope that we have a lot of faith with it. As I already said though, having 2 games what just didn't do well whatsoever, I was really worried about the path of this game. And this is the thing, troopers. I feel like the next Battlefield is going to be the hit and miss. If this Battlefield does not succeed, I don't think Battlefield is going to continue anymore. Honestly, can they even screw up, troopers? Can they even mess up? They have 4 AAA studios working on the next Battlefield. Is there any way they can even screw this up? I cannot see them messing up the new Battlefield with 4 AAA studios. There is just no way we're ever going to see a stink of a Battlefield again. I really hope not. But guys, let me know in the comment section below what you thought about this video. Anyway, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, be a part of Pink Army. I'll see you troopers on the battlefield.